Hey everybody, so I got a Dynomax header back system. Not because I have headers, but because I wanted to get this thrush off, and which was on a reducer to a 2-inch tailpipe after it. And the reason why I want to do that is because I wanted full 2 1/4, 2.25. There's two pipes. I have one in now. I'm just trying to figure out which one's going to fit better. So it'll be 2 1/4 all the way through. Now, I originally intended to run a dual exhaust system in this, and I was going to keep the original crossover. I've got some work to do here. I'm going to try and clean up some of this rust. I may take this front part off and clean it up, get the rust off of it, and then paint it. But I thought in the meantime, I'm not sure, because I've got M80s right there. I've got two M80s, and this is really, you know, it's really difficult to put in these Ford trucks a dual exhaust, to be honest with you. I'll get down there and I'll do a video on this later, in just a little bit after I'm done explaining here. But I wanted to fit up this side, because at least on this side I'll have the tailpipe that comes from the Cherry Bomb in it for temporarily to be a one exhaust system. I may leave it like that, I don't know. But the reason why it's so difficult for the Fords is because of this tank, which goes all the way back almost to the rear axle, as you can see there. So I am just wanting to not have a reducer on this. I can't believe that was done. I put the thrush on, but there was a reducer tailpipe down the 1/4 inch. So I want to open it up at least a little bit here, and the Cherry Bomb does that. The short Cherry Bomb does that, as well as the tailpipe. So I'm going to finish up, go down here and see if I can fit up the tailpipe and get it mocked up. I'm going to have to do some cutting, of course. So there's a joint right here. I think this is going to have to be cut, this piece, and it's very difficult for this stuff to come off, as I'm sure you know. So I may just leave it there and then just try and paint some of this rust as it sits on the front, because it'd be very difficult to get it out. I don't know yet, but that's where I am on this right now, because the crossovers on this, you know, they don't make any exhaust system that comes off stock headers, and that's what I've got on this, is stock headers, exhaust manifolds. And I am just thinking that if this works, then I'll just keep the single exhaust. We'll see how it does with opening up the system a little bit, but I think that reducing down to 2 inches was just a little bit too restrictive for this big, for this 351. It's really it's a 400, but it's a 351 engine. So anyway, I'll show you what I come up with when I'm further down the road here. Okay, everybody, this is the install of the what I intended on being a dual exhaust system, but you'll see here in a second. It you know, it's a 4x4, and especially with the tank sitting here and the shift linkage, because this is a manual 4x4, you know, it's really tight. You can see through here where both of the pipes have to the crossover from the left to the right, and then two pipes have to come down this rail. Some of them recommend that you roll underneath the frame here and run it underneath the frame, which I just was not going to do, Now, it might be possible to run a dual exhaust here, and I'll show you the difficulty I ran into and maybe why that might be possible in a minute. So what I'm going to do, I intended on taking everything out and reusing that crossover right there, and then cutting the right side off of it and then continuing with 2 lines down. Now, like I said, it could have been done, but it's really tight, especially when you get to the muffler part. I'm going to leave these in for right now. I'm going to clean all that rust up, and I'm going to paint it in situ, at least down to where it just bends down and then around. And then I'll do some of this other stuff here too, to try and stop some of this degradation. So anyway, so this is where the problem begins, and I should probably move here. So I mean, I put on a Cherry Bomb, and I had 2, and the problem, of course, is basically this. Cherry Bombs are big as, they're frickin' huge. And I knew they'd be big, but I didn't know they'd be that big. So you can see here, the drive line is here. You could go closer to the frame, but man, you would have a really tight space between them. And so I elected to go ahead and just go with one. And part of that is because I had a thrush here that was 20 some odd inches long that almost spanned between the end of the bed here and to the first cross member over here. But after the thrush, there was a reducer down from 225 to 2 inches, and the entire tailpipe was 2 inches in diameter. It should have all been 225. So I got the Dynamax header back system, in part because I knew I could, if I went dual exhaust, I could cut and use the parts to fabricate 2 lines down to here, and still use even all of my straight pipes as well to get it done. The space became the issue, not the time. So anyway, I really kind of wanted to at least open it up. So this whole system from here all the way back over the back axle and then down and out is from the Dynamax. It fits okay. I mean, it's you kind of have to tweak with it in terms of the angle and whatnot, but you know, it's above the frame, and the plate that hits the bumper wouldn't allow anything to hit the pipe. I had to come just a teeny bit this way because the backside there's nothing. So in order to make sure that this stuff on the front, which this wouldn't hit it anyway, but that other, you know, other things that are connected here on the rear sway bar actually wouldn't hit it if it ever got that low. Now, for me and my purposes, probably not ever, but you never know. So now the Dynamax header back system would work over this. What you would have to do is, let's just say you went with a muffler with a dual out. Now that might be what I do. The Dynamax header back system would have to split right here, right around here, and then head that way over the differential and then down the other side. I still may do that. I may not keep the Cherry Bombs and do something like a Flowmaster single in dual out. That's possible. I might do something like that, but I just want to see how the performance is and whatnot with just the Cherry Bomb on it for right now. But the Dynamax, this would take more fabrication because you'd have to cut pipe. And as a matter of fact, the Dynamax system for 351M, they both exit this side. So it would be a dual exhaust, but they would exit the same side, which I don't like. I mean, it's just aesthetic. I don't like the look. So But if I wanted to do it, I could do it. And so that's what the back looks like. I came out a little further on purpose, so it would clear, you know, the bumper and the tires. And I made sure this was level, by the way. So you don't want to point up, and then, you know, if it rains real hard, you get water in there. So this is pretty much level. And there, that's that. I'll start it up in a little bit, and we can listen to it. I have to make sure I have no air leaks. I had a few yesterday, so I was under there tightening them up today. And I'll get back to that later on and shoot some video on it.
I'm so glad you asked. Impeccable, okay? Unattainable, unfucking reachable, flawless victory.
Just wanted to give you a look at the Dynamax. This would be the second tailpipe, and as you can see, it exits on the same side, the passenger side. And so these are two pieces together. Now, if I were to use this for a dual exhaust, it would require cutting here and then flipping this 180 degrees over to the other side, re-welding it together. Then for over the differential and the back axle, this would have to be extended. So I would probably run some straight pipe, because it would be, if I can get it, hold on here. If you can get it up here like this, then it would require running a straight pipe out of this for just a little while, and then probably a 45-degree angle off of it, and then down to where the pipe splits off from the other muffler, and then a 45 to level it back out again so it could connect in. That's how this would have to be done. So there would definitely be some modifications for this, but hey, it could be done. So anyway, that's sort of my 2 cents on this. You can use some of these header back systems. There's another one from it's not Dynamax, and then there's another one, I think it's Hooker. Hooker has one which may be better for a dual exhaust, but I don't know. I've read the comments for the Hooker header back, and there's just tons of problems getting them over the axles right. There's a lot of cutting involved. That's why I went with the Dynamax, because I knew that they would at least clear the back axles. Okay, everybody, I got it all started up. There's no leaks. I went and made sure and went and checked. And here's what it sounds like. It's a lot deeper. So there we go. Hang loose.